Alright everyone, welcome back. So our 2023-2024 season previews continue on today with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, apologies for the audio, apologies for the quality in the video. I'm away for the weekend. So, Toronto, it's always fun talking about Toronto, isn't it? Oh man. So I'm just going to get straight into it here because, this whole entire offseason, like pretty much every offseason for Toronto has had its controversies. So in 22-23, they went 50, 21, and 11 for 111 points. They were fourth in the NHL, and they lost in round two to the Florida Panthers. Not before defeating the Tampa Bay Lightning, the three-time Eastern Conference Final champions in the first round in 6 games. So obviously that was a huge accomplishment for this team, and it was great at the time, I will say that. But now they're in a weird spot. I'm not going to lie. They're once again in another really strange spot. Even though they signed Matthews, it really shows that with that contract, that's their window. They have 5 more years to get Toronto to a Stanley Cup team. And I'd say right now, I'm not too sure if they're there just yet. Look at your departures and your arrivals list here. Of course, one of the biggest ones was Kyle Dubas. He's obviously gone now, no longer the GM. He is now off in Pittsburgh. They brought in Brad Treliving, who is now managed through free agency, signed the Austin Matthews contract, so he's already done a lot of work here for Toronto through this offseason already. So, your departures list: Michael Bunting, Ryan O'Reilly, Luke Schenn, Justin Hull, Nola Chari, Alex Kerfoot, Zach Aston-Reese, Wayne Simmons, Eric Gustafson, and Eric Cauldron are all the guys who have left in this offseason. So Bunting obviously was not a bad middle 6 forward. And obviously, he had his moments with Toronto. A lot of people didn't like him in Toronto. But now he's obviously a Carolina Hurricane. O'Reilly, I thought, did well for Toronto in the stretch of games that he did. And when he played with them, I thought that he brought everything you needed to the game. And I thought he played very well. Luke Schenn, another solid defensive defender, could take a lot of block shots, take a lot of hits. He's one of those guys. Justin Hull, he's had his controversy. It's good he's gone. I'm not going to lie to you. Nola Chari, solid bottom 6 forward. Same with Kerfoot. Zach Aston-Reese and Wayne Simmons were more or less just depth players. Gustafson was a depth defenseman that was acquired at the time in the deadline. And then Cauldron was the 3rd string goalie. So really, you're not missing too much there. I do think, though, I do feel like they got a little bit worse. Losing guys like O'Reilly, Bunting, and Schenn are for sure going to hurt this blue line. So I'm really wondering, what is next for them in that area. See, our rivals list is as follows. They acquired Tyler Bertuzzi, Max Domi, Dylan Gambrell, Ryan Reeves, John Klingberg, and Martin Jones. So Bertuzzi, I like it a lot. If he can stay healthy, a solid 50, 60-point scorer for sure if he's playing first-line minutes. Max Domi there, too, a solid, guy, obviously returning home, I guess, to Toronto. Gambrell, a good 4th-line center at most. Ryan Reeves, I didn't understand the point of even signing that. Look, it wouldn't be bad if it was a 1-year deal, but it's like a 3-year contract worth $1 million. So, I don't understand, why you would want to offer someone who is 38, by the way, 37, somewhere around that age, and you're signing him to a 3-year contract that will take him to he's in his 40s. It's insane. Klingberg, good, solid, second pairing defenseman. And then Jones as well, a good 3rd string goalie. I like him a lot. Will play some games for sure for Toronto. You look at your lineup, it is per the Hockey News, so I did not make this. Don't come at me for this. First line is Bertuzzi, Matthews, Marner. Second line is Domi, Tavares, Nylander. And obviously, that's a pretty solid top 6. Nylander is going to be a big talk throughout this entire season because odds are with Matthews signing a contract and bringing in other guys, Nylander is more than likely gone. He's more than likely going to go at the trade, maybe not the trade deadline, but he's more than likely going to leave either next free agency or at the trade deadline. Whatever Toronto wants to play, whatever card they want to play, he's probably gone because he's at the end of that contract and he's going to want a pay raise. He is 100% going to want a pay raise. So honestly, I would not be surprised whatsoever if he leaves after this season. So yeah, I would say this is probably the best shot at winning a cup right now. I'm not going to lie to you. Honestly, losing Nylander is going to be a big loss to that top 6. We're really going to find out how good that bottom 6 is. But speaking of which, your bottom 6, Matthew Knees, David Kampf, Sam Lafferty. Cale Yarncrook, Dylan Gambrell, and Ryan Reeves. Then you got Nick Robertson, McCann. I don't believe it's not Jared McCann. It's some other McCann. And then Pontus Holmberg there as well for some extra players. So not a terrible bottom six. Good grit. Matthew Knees obviously coming in as a full-time rookie. Will be interesting to see what he can do, especially since I thought he played well in the playoffs and is coming one of my favorite Maple Leafs for sure. Kampf, obviously, good third-line center. Same with Lafferty, keeping him around. Ryan Reeves, we'll see how he does fighting, basically. And I understand the reasoning of the signing, but I just don't understand the term or the salary. Like, I understand the reason why they wanted to get him, because they want people to protect the big guys in Toronto. That's why they brought in Wayne Simmons. That's why they brought in other people, and et cetera, Bunting as well. So, like, yeah, but, like, I just don't understand the contract overall. And then we'll see guys like Nick Robertson get a shot. Robertson should get a shot soon, hopefully. This should be that year where he gets some kind of chance. The defense is as follows. You got Morgan Rielly, TJ Brody, Jake McCabe, and John Klingberg. Mark Giordano and Timothy Liljegren, Maxime Lajoie, and Connor Timmins as your extra guys. Then you got Jake Muzzin in there, too. I thought I'd throw in Jake Muzzin with a little asterisk at the bottom of the list because, honestly, I feel like he's done. I don't think he's coming back. And there was even talks of saying, oh, yeah, he's for sure done. So, really, I am not surprised whatsoever. He really probably isn't going to come back, which stinks. I liked Muzzin a lot for Toronto, but he's probably done. But regardless, that blue line isn't bad either. I feel like it's one part where it got better because losing guys like Hull definitely help out. Honestly, kind of help out a lot because Hull faced a lot of controversy. Wasn't the best in Toronto either. So we'll see how it's going to do. Just the only thing I'm worried about is maybe the third pairing because that third pairing, Giordano's getting old and Liljegren has had his moments as well. So we're obviously going to see a lot of changes because like Toronto, they like to just change a lot of things up mid-season, like changing up lines and stuff like that. So these aren't your official lines either. Goaltending is as follows. Sorry, you have Samsonov and Wall as your two goalies, and I got Martin Jones as the third string goaltender. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Wall becomes the third string and Jones comes in, but I feel like Wall has kind of earned that spot because he's played well consistently over the past couple of years in the games that he has played. So it wouldn't really surprise me if he gets a shot at getting just a backup role. But it should be Samsonov and someone else between Jones and Wall. Your biggest X factor for me is playoffs. I mean, like, honestly, like, really, that's been the biggest X factor for me for a while is what's going to happen come playoff time. Are the Stars going to perform? Are they going to, are they going to actually perform and actually show up? I know when Sheldon Keefe signed that contract, a lot of people complained about how, like, he can't get anything out of the players. And we're really going to find out, like, is that contract or is that signing going to help them out? And really, it doesn't give him any more coaching security. Like, I mean, like, he can get fired at any time. Like, that shows with any job. You're easily replaceable in any job. Like, I've brought up plenty of examples of that. Like, when Babcock signed his contract, he still got fired. When Daryl Sutter signed his contract, before his original one was even over, he still got fired. Ducharme, fired. It happens a lot in the sports world, especially. So, it doesn't give Keefe any security whatsoever signing that contract, and I talked about that in the video when I explained his contract signing. So, yeah, honestly, we're going to find out. The biggest question is, what's the next step? Where do they go from here? Because I feel like, again, they're in a weird spot where, like, they could, like, make a run for a Stanley Cup, but, like, they're Toronto, so, like, are they really going to be able to do that? And there's obviously a lot of media pressure there, too. The fans show a lot of their passion and voices. So, like, honestly, there's a lot there. I really do not know, like, where they go from here. They're really a weird team. They should be good regular season-wise, but come playoffs, I just don't know if they're going to be a contending team at this point. I'd like to re-mention that, yes, they're going to be a contending team, but I just don't know, like, what they're going to do in the playoffs because I've said many years in a row, like, what exactly are they going to be able to do? So I don't know why I didn't say I don't know if they'll be contenders. They will be contenders. It's just a matter of what happens come playoff time is really what I meant. Your point projections here are per the Hockey News' fantasy guide, and they go as follows. You got Marner with first at 105 points, Matthews in second with 93, Nylander in third with 83, Tavares in fourth with 79, and then a massive drop, like a huge 20-point drop over to Tyler Bertuzzi with 51. So obviously that's something interesting there. Obviously, that really doesn't mean much in this grand scheme of things. I think a lot of the time when I talked about these point projections last year, when I did the season previews then, I think a lot of them were horribly wrong. So not really surprised. Your sleeper or your bust is actually Matthew Knees. The Leafs need to lessen the pressure on the core four, and Matthew Knees is a remedy. He showed good chemistry on the top two lines in the playoffs. He's been a point per game gamer everywhere, and he's an early candidate for the Calder trophies. Yes, as I mentioned, Knees could be a really solid player if he stays healthy and really could do some good for Toronto for sure. They need a young player like that. Robertson hasn't really panned out to the way that they thought he was going to be just yet. And, Knees could be a big help with those guys like Nylander and such. So, yeah, I hope Knees does very well. But regardless, that is your 23-24 season preview for your Toronto Maple Leafs. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe down below. I really appreciate it. Tomorrow is the Vancouver Canucks. So anyways, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.